Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Is she satisfied or dissatisfied? She is just a customer, just like everyone else. Like always, giving it to you raw and unedited. Over to you, the short one.
Yeah, okay, another week. So this one's gonna be a podcast of me just being like, fuck this shit, literally. I mean, it's been a week where I sort of think, you get paid to do a job, but you don't seem like you want the job, or you're not thankful to have a job. Yes, I'm talking about customer service failed this week on many levels, and the short one is pissed off and just literally like, stay away from me. So anyway, I'll try and sound very enthusiastic, but I'm still trying to get over everything, just over the whole week. I'm just still trying to. So let's kick off. So the other day, I've been getting messages on my computer telling me I need to do a update, that whole software update thing. And I'm always like, yeah, remind me later. Only because I know it's going to take a long time and don't have time for that. So one night I thought, okay, tonight's the night, because it came up, and I thought, let me do it, because I want to have an early-ish night, so to speak. And yeah, I can handle doing the software update. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? What could go wrong? So I was literally just click the whatever it says, install now or update now, whatever it said. Who gives a shit? So it was installing, and I got myself all prepared for bed and closed my eyes and was just thinking, please sleep. And I think I kind of, about to drift to sleep, and then something said to me, wake up, check your computer. I mean, obviously that was not an actual voice, because that would have freaked me out if I heard that. Like if I had heard someone's, that would have freaked me out. But anyway, so I thought, okay, let me open my laptop. Installation was finished, but I had no icons on my desktop, and I thought, shit, fuckity fuck, and panicked. But I thought, just keep you cool. It's all right. Just get some help. And I'm talking about, let's say it was about 2:30 in the morning at this point. And I thought, fuck, what the hell? Like, just like a phone, your whole life is on your phone. Like, literally, your whole life. If you looked at your phone and you went through your phone, everything, your whole life is on there. Especially for some people who love taking pictures. Can you imagine if all those pictures just disappeared, went poof, and it disappeared? It was that kind of feeling where you just feel so empty inside, you want to cry. So I spent about, 30, 45 minutes trying to get the number of Microsoft, because I was just like, tonight no one's going to sleep, because if I'm not going to sleep, no one's going to sleep. This shit needs to be fixed. Coming from an IT background, I knew that I hadn't lost it. I knew there must be a way to retrieve it, but it was just the fact I needed it now. I wasn't going to have time to faff about. So finally managed to get the details of Microsoft, contacted them, spoke to somebody, Spent about an hour with them on the phone. This guy, I think, screwed up my laptop even more, let's just say. And the way I go with things, and I shouldn't have to be doing this as a customer, but the way I deal with it is if I contact a support person, I will pretend like I'm your best friend. You know, I'll give you a bit of banter, all this kind of stuff. Because I'm just hoping that, you know, if I'm sort of different from everyone else that you've been speaking to, you might give that little extra attention, which to me is wrong, because you should give people attention anyway, you know. You should go out your extra mile or whatever it is to anyone and everyone. But anyway, so he basically, I could see that we were going around in circles, and I had to hang up on him. Cut a long story short, I hung up on him. Press redial, got someone else. Now, what she was asking me to do, it was things already done. And we only spent about 5 minutes on the phone. Hung up on her. Because it was just like, hang on a minute, I'm contacting support, but who are these people? I mean, it's first line support, and I've been first line support, I've been second line support. And to me, it's you know, I was just dealing with dimwits, you know, grade A, first class, prime dimwits, to be honest. So anyway, hung up on her, called again, and finally got somebody that kind of sounded like he knew what he was doing. And we were progressing and all this kind of stuff. And at one point, he got me to reinstall the updates. Now, update installing takes hours. And he was like, okay, I've got you to do this. It's going to take a couple of hours. So what I'll do, I'll email you the instructions. And if you've got any problems, just quote your case number. And before I realised what he was trying to say, i.e. he wanted to leave me on my own, I was like, no, that's not going to happen. You're staying on the phone with me. You are literally staying on. There is no way. I have managed to get the golden nugget, and now you want to go? No way. So I made him stay on the phone. Basically, cut a long story short, we were on the phone for 5.5 hours. There was one point I must admit I was drifting in and out of sleep. I had him with my earphone thing, and once in a while I'll hear him say, "Hello, you still there?" And I'll jump, like literally, because I'm in the land of Narnia at this point. And I'm like, "Where the fuck was that voice come from?" You know, it was just like, "Ooh, geez." But then, but anyway, we managed to get it sorted. But I was not letting this guy go, and I could tell he was getting frustrated. I think he was just like, fucking hell, just get off my phone, just get off the line. But I was like, nope, not letting go until this is fixed. Because I want to know that when I eventually go to sleep, with the little hours I've got left, or little minutes I've got left, I'm going to snore. Even though I don't snore, but I want to be able to go into that deep sleep where I can snore. Not where I'm still petrified, like, oh, in the morning, might not work. So in the end, yeah, happy bunny. And I did my usual thing. I always believe we're so quick to complain when we get bad service, but I like to also like to what do you call it? What's the opposite of complain? Give praise. I don't know, whatever. Give praise when I get good service. Like when I say good service, I'm talking about where I feel extra special. And because to me the guy was patient, in inverted commas, Uncle wouldn't let him go. I was like, let's speak to your manager or supervisor there, blah, blah, blah. He panicked a bit. I said, no, don't worry. So spoke to them and said, this guy's excellent, blah, 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 blah. But the other two people I spoke to before, they need to be talked to, because that was not on. They need to be retrained, whatever. But this guy knew what he was doing, and, because initially when he answered the call, I mean, whenever I'm at that stage of anger, to me, it's like, you're going to wish you never answered my call. But I was giving him attitude, I was giving him everything, But he managed to calm me down, Anyway, so that was that. So my laptop's fine. My laptop's fine, but some of my extensions aren't really sort of working. But that's neither here nor there. I've got my icons back. I've got my files back. That's the most important thing. So as long as I've got those back, my life is back. So that's all good. What else has been happening? Oh, so I heard that WH Smith are in it. Like, not, are they in trouble or people are complaining? And you know what? It was so funny because when I did see the article, I actually thought, oh shit. There is WH Smith around, isn't there? Because it's so weird. When I was younger, everything was WH Smith, like things for school and all that kind of stuff. And suddenly, WH Smith is not part of my life anymore. But there was a time when WH Smith was the place to go to. That you go to school, everyone had like practically the same kind of folders, you know, notepads and all this, because everyone went to the one shop, WH Smith. But now it's like, oh, I've completely forgot it existed. Frog in my throat. But yeah, and I must admit, when I was thinking of why has WH Smith left my life, and I didn't even notice, I was thinking, well, firstly, I always feel that walking in WH Smith, like going through like a time zone thing, you know, what's that comedy with Nicholas Lyndhurst? I don't know why I always think of these things. I should have thought of it beforehand. And basically he goes into a pub, and when he walks into the pub, he's in like Hitler era of the war and stuff. Anyway, I've forgotten what it's called, but W. Smith kind of makes me feel like that. If I walk in there, it's like I've gone backwards in time. It's so historical. It should be like, you know, they should take school kids there, like a museum thing, like a low budget museum trip. But I do find that, you know, the likes of the Wilcos or the even pound shops or other shops, and you know what? They're dreaded online as well. You kind of think, do you really need WH Smith? No. Can they compete with the competitors? Probably not. Because I think even if I saw a special offer from WH Smith, and probably I have seen them, I don't really give it like attention that it deserves, maybe. Because it doesn't lock into my brain or into the memory bank. But I know like the one in St. Albans, I think they've seemed to have a permanent promotion for Sharpies. I don't know what the fuck a Sharpie is. I mean, why are Sharpies so like famous? Everyone's like, oh, got your Sharpie, got your Sharpie. Isn't it just a felt tip pen? Isn't that what it is? Just a felt tip pen? But anyway, I think they've got a promotion for Sharp. I can't even tell you how much it is because I do see it, but it doesn't lock into my brain, like I said. You know, and I don't know, but W.H. Smith, it just... And I was reading somewhere where they're saying, like, you know, the shopkeepers, not shopkeepers, sales assistants, oh, gosh, calm down with that stutter. The sales assistants tend to be quite rude. I've never known W.H. Smith to have rude sales assistants, but I do feel that, yes, they can ignore. You literally turn into a ghost, basically. So they can be standing right near you or whatever, and they don't acknowledge you. But yeah, weird one that. Weird. So let's take a quick break. So look at me getting excited. So on the website www.iamjustacustomer.com, on Facebook I am just a customer, and on Instagram I'm just a customer, and on Twitter I'm just a customer, and also on YouTube, I am just a customer. So it's that one's slowly building. So don't go in there thinking you're going to see like a million videos or anything like that. Slowly building. Calm down, kids. So anyway, yeah. So I just sound so demotivated, don't I? Look at me trashing self-assistance. Look at the way I'm sounding, or hear the way I'm sounding. But anyway, yeah. So don't forget, wherever you're listening to, you view it, share it, all the rest of it. Sharing is caring. Yeah. So let's talk about GDPR. Oh yeah, GDPR. Don't worry, it's not going to be that long, because I am one of those people that was literally like, I can't stand this nonsense, whatever. But it was surprising to see like a lot of companies contacting me, and I was just like, sorry, who are you? It was literally like, like, I don't know, you bump into someone that you think you know, and then you're like, oh, hi, how are you? And then they're looking at you like, oh, sorry, I don't know who you are. Have we met before? Like, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it was just like a lot of the emails was just like, where the hell? Like, what? But I thought that Friday would be the end of it, but I'm still getting shit. Like, oh, as you know, GDPR came in effect on Friday. And I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. Bloody hell, I'm having a bad week with people's shit customer service. I don't need you bloody going on about bloody PR. I probably got the initials the wrong way around, knowing me. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so, whatever. That was what I wanted to say. So, the other day I went to a Chinese restaurant, really nice Chinese restaurant, but I'm not going to mention the name because it's a small business. Really good food, very good value for money, very massive portions. Very massive portions. Is that right English? I don't know. Very big portions, like huge. A couple of things. First things first. I think the most important thing is, all I suggest, if any of them are listening, staff members, owners, or whatever, little tip. You're a restaurant. Can you reduce the volume of that ping sound? The sound that sounds like a microwave? Just saying, but because I was at the other end of the restaurant and I'd ordered my food and then literally like bing, and then within seconds waitress is coming out with the food. So I'm just saying, just reduce the volume just by a couple of decibels. In fact, put it on mute. Just put it on mute. Or put a loud music on or something. Because, yes, we all know that some restaurants do microwave food. But, sometimes it's nice to wonder. I wonder if it's microwave. Or I wonder why it came so quick to my table. But just a little note. Second thing I was going to say, and this is the only reason why I'm mentioning it on my podcast, is, you see, tipping. I'm one person, okay, firstly, I don't tend to pay for my meals, but when I do pay for my meals not that I steal, is that whoever, if I go out, is somebody taking me out or whatever, but I am one of those people that sort of think, okay, tipping, should we really tip? I believe you should tip if if somebody, you feel that someone's exceeded your expectation or has gone above and beyond, what you were expecting or something like that. But if it's just a standard service you're getting, like, a waitress comes over, you tell her what you want, you may ask her a few questions about the food, she notes it down, she sends it to the kitchen, now they're the ones that are cooking, then she brings it over to you, you eat, and when you finish eating, she takes back your plate. Yeah, great. That's what you get paid to do. If you don't get paid or conditions are bad, leave, But that, again, that's not my thing. That's between you and your career or you and your manager and stuff. But I know I sound harsh, but I'm just stating it from my point of view. Because, again, this podcast is all about my perspective and my thoughts. But I don't, do we tip the chef? We say, I've never done it, but you see in films and stuff, people say, oh, compliments to the chef. That's all the chef gets, Okay, the chef's probably on more money. But then again, if I'm a waitress and I'm depending on your tips, I must be in the wrong job, because, But then I also think, but the majority of the time when I'm trying to decide do I tip or not, is I think to myself, okay, I went to the chemist And he gave me excellent customer service, which he does. You know, I don't say, oh, thank you for my medicine. Oh, here's, you know, threepence. Don't you just wish you lived in the era of threepence and shillings? It sounds so cool. You know, like how the Americans have like nickel and whatever. For some reason I've forgotten what they say. But yeah, threepence is such a cool word. Threepence. Sounds quite rude as well. But anyway, going back to my thing. But yeah, I don't go to my chemist like, oh, you know, thank you for giving me the banter and also, you know, dispensing my medicine within 5 minutes. Here's a tenner for your troubles. I don't do that. You know, if I get on a train, I don't say, ooh, one sec, before I get off this platform, let me run to the front of the train and give the train driver, you know, a fiver because he managed to get me to my destination at the right time, considering I've just been hearing about how much there's so much delays and stuff. So I don't get it. But anyway, the reason why I'm mentioning it is because I was at the restaurant the other day, and the same day I had the pings, and I couldn't finish my food because they seriously, they do ridiculously big portions and very, very good price. And I couldn't finish my food because if you go for a starter, there's no way you're going to finish your main. And I said to the woman, I was like, the waitress, I was like, oh, can I have a doggy bag? Can I take away? So she goes, okay, yeah, sure. You know, she disappeared. And I thought, oh, why is my plate still on the table? But you know, whatever. And she comes back with these 2 Tupperware boxes. And she puts them on the table with a plastic bag. So basically, cut a long story short, so you haven't got the story, is you have to put your own food in the Tupperware. And I was like, okay, well, that does not deserve a tip because now we're sharing your roll. As in, not roll as in a bun roll, but, you know, I'm not getting paid to administer the food from the time I walk in to the time I walked out. But I'm now made to put it in, and I'm not being like, you know, a little princess or anything, but to me, it's like, okay, I wasn't angry. All I just thought was, thank goodness this has happened, because this is why, if you were to say, excuse me, where's my tip? You've given me a reason to answer you, to say, tip this bitch and give my middle finger, you know, for the fact that you're asking. But to me, it's like, well, I've just been made to put this in the bag. You know, I'm not getting paid for it. I'm actually paying you guys for me to put this in the bag. Because I'm sure what you pay for in terms of when you go out to the, you know, those supermarkets for shops and stuff, what you call them, like those places like your Costco's and your Macros, what I've actually had on my plate, the total cost was practically a fraction to what I actually paid for. So technically, I'm actually paying you for me to put this in a Tupperware. And I'll leave it there and think about it. I want you to think about it. So, let me just have a quick break. Anyway, so website www.imjustacustomer.com, Facebook and Instagram, I am just a customer, Twitter, I'm just a customer. So anyway, going back to the podcast. So I guess the lightning was feeling the same anger and pissed offiness that I am feeling, because that lightning was crazy, but it was so cool. And the reason why it was cool, because I was indoors watching it. I think if you were out and about, that would have been more like, shit, I'm going to die tonight. Although I must say, I remember one time I saw like pictures of people that had been struck by lightning, people were alive. No one had died. And it was actually, the scarring was actually quite nice. It looked like a tattoo of a forest. You know, if you've got time, Google it. But yeah, but it was crazy. The thing is, the thunder was so slight. I don't think I even heard the thunder. But it was like, paparazzi was outside, like, woo, 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 woo. But yeah, anyway, enough about the lightning. So, let's talk about Harvester. Oh yeah, in case I didn't say it loud enough. Harvester. Harvester. Oh, you can tell I'm about to name and shame, right? Harvester. 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 Galleria. Galleria Hatfield. Harvester. Galleria Hatfield. Right, okay, so I went to a certain restaurant. Did I mention the name? Harvester? Did I mention the location? Galleria in Hatfield. So anyway, now Harvester in Galleria, I've been there a few times, especially because one in Stirling Corner's disappeared. But, you know, the one in Galleria, why I like it is because it's not always packed. And I'm not saying that to throw any kind of shade or anything like that. You know, sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, I actually do prefer restaurants that are not packed. Because I think, you know, when you're going for the dining experience, it should be quite intimate with the person that you're with and all this kind of stuff. And anyway, so I went there and it was busier than normal. But there were some empty tables there. So, walked in there and, strangely enough, had to wait probably about 5 minutes. And I swear that's the longest 5 minutes of my life. And I think I literally had to fix my eyes on a member of staff. And this stuff, I remember, was somebody who wasn't wearing the same colour uniform. So I'm assuming manager, supervisor, or whatever it is. I had to fix my eyes and lock it there to say, hello, we want to be seated. And eventually when he comes over, you get a table for two. Yeah, there's no one behind us. But yeah, table for two. And I was like, you know, can we sit in the booth? He said, oh, sorry, it's been reserved. So I was like, okay, I'm not disputing the reservation for the booth, but I've never really heard of, especially that Harvester, that they reserve tables. But anyway, but possibly it could have been reserved, you know, makes sense, restaurant, you know, whatever. So put on a table within the restaurant, whatever, it's not important. And kind of felt, don't know if I really want to be here, because there was something not right, and I think it was something about him that wasn't right, and kind of thought, let's go somewhere else to eat. So I went away, tried to find somewhere else, and then couldn't really, because you know when you sort of think, oh, ribs, Harvester ribs, you know, salad bar, whatever, you know. So I went back to Harvester, and it was quite a longish gap in between. Went back into Harvester and saw some tables that were empty. And unfortunately, same guy came up, you know, oh, table for two, yeah. And I knew he remembered us. And I'm not going to explain why I knew, but it's not going to take an idiot to understand what I'm trying to say here. But anyway, so table for two. He said, right, okay, the tables are reserved, so you got to stand over there, pointing to the corner, and I'll let you know when the table comes free. Okay, fine. Scan the room. I kid you not, there was about 6 tables free, including one booth. Same booth I mentioned before, the one that was being reserved. And I thought, this is interesting. Because, again, I'm not going to say why, but you'll guess it. But I will say one thing. I and the person that I was with was very much different from everyone else, even the diners in that room. Like, obviously different. But anyway, so I'm looking at them, see these empty tables, and the same guy went to go and tell other people, I think they were also waiting, but there were like a party of 4, and said, oh, your table's ready. So I quickly went up to this guy and I said, oh, but I can see how the table's like clear. And then he said to me that, but they're dirty. Now, I was like, okay, we've gone from being reserved to now dirty. So I was like, okay, but you didn't say that before. And he goes, no, I told you that they were dirty. So even the booth thing, apparently he said it was dirty. But I remember he said reserved. But anyway, so this point I'm thinking, nah, something in this whole dialogue is not right. And I've got to address it to this person. So I don't like playing that card. And because I hate people that play that card loosely. Because at the end of the day, you devalue the whole reason why others can play that card for when it needs to be played. And I said to the guys, like, well, you didn't say that. And then he got all uppity with me and said, look, I said to you that they were dirty. Now, meanwhile, he then said, look, if you want to sit at a dirty table, go and sit at a dirty table. So I did a quick scan and looking at the booth wasn't even dirty. It had been cleaned up. And there was a staff member who was actually putting knives and forks on there. So either he had cleaned it whilst this guy was trying to deny the key words he had said. Oh, I have no idea. But he was putting the knives and forks and the napkins out. So we sat down on that table. So the same guy comes back round. And I sort of said, I thought you said this table was dirty. Because bearing in mind, when I've seen it now that I'm close up to it, it's not dirty. And he said to me, it was dirty. And then he went on to say, look, if you don't want to eat in here, then you can leave. And I'm thinking, wow. Yes, I could be one of those people gets my camera out and now presses record and I can have this all and it can go viral and all that kind of stuff. But again, to me, it was like, well, I'm not that kind of person unless this was like, proper blatant. But then some people could have been like, nah, I don't think it was what you thought it was. But let me tell you, it certainly felt like it. Again, maybe it wasn't, but I'll just say it certainly felt like it. And I said to the guy that, look, you said it was reserved, but if you had said these tables needed cleaning, that's a different conversation because then it would be like, okay, fine. But you can't go from 1 minute reserved to next minute cleaning. And if the booth originally, before we had walked out before, he said it was reserved. If it had been reserved, then people must have ate so fucking quickly because there was no evidence of anyone having ever sat there And then if it was dirty, like he said he had told me from the first time we'd got in there, Harvester, why the fuck do you leave tables dirty for that long? I swear, from the time we originally walked in to the time when me and this guy were having this bit of a conversation, it must have been about 30 minutes time, like 30 minutes. And that was purely disgusting. I'm not talking about the tables because, again, I never saw any dirty tables at all. There might have been one table that was dirty because literally when we came back and we were doing the whole table for two, people had just walked out. So yeah, of course it's going to be dirty. But the other tables, didn't see anything like that. But then whilst you're scanning the room and you're scanning everything else, you kind of notice that, oh shit, I'm different from these people. Like, we're different from these people, the person I was with. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and not think it was because of that. Because if it was that, shame on Harvester. Not shame on the guy. Shame on Harvester to have employed somebody like that. Because that was just disgusting. And like I said, to have somebody like that, and I would say I'm pretty loyal to Harvester. If Harvester was like a 2-minute walk, I would always be going there. And I've mentioned Harvester in previous podcasts, so it wasn't like my first time. Harvester do amazing ribs, right? They do amazing ribs. If I was a salad person, I'd be saying they'll do amazing salad as well, but I can't. I love the ribs there. They're not the best ribs, but I still love the ribs there. And to me, it was like that experience I had today. Would it stop me from going to Harvester? Probably not. Because like I said, I'm going to try and think of it. It wasn't the way that I think it went. But at the same time, will this story end? No, it's not. Because that's what happens. When you give someone bad service, you know what we do as customers? We tell everyone and anyone about it. And, that guy, he's so weird. If anyone watches This Is Us, the character Toby, this guy looked just like Toby. I remember seeing things thinking, oh gosh, that guy looks so much like Toby. And the character Toby is a really nice guy and really wonderful guy. And then to be presented with somebody like that, even if, like I said, even if I am wrong, I'm not saying I'm right, even if I am wrong, but the fact that he made me feel that way, to me, I just think, gosh, can I really watch This Is Us again? I think it's going to ruin it for me. I hope not, because it was one damn good show. But like I said, Harvester, you need to sort that shit out. And I'm not saying the shit as in that individual. Like I said, if people are one way, if people don't know how to, deliver customer service, I'm not one to say sack a person, but in terms of sorting it out, sort that shit out. Sorry, did I say the name Harvester? I'm not sure if I mentioned the name Harvester. Did I mention the location? Galleria, Hatfield. All right. Okay, so Hatfield Galleria Harvester. So that was my experience today. And because it's so fresh, this is why this podcast this week isn't all like, all bubbly, whatever. Because I hope today's experience was the last shitty customer experience I would have encountered. But anyway, new week, new shit. I hope so. So until next week, this is the short one. And yeah, I'll speak to you next week. And hopefully I'll be in a better mood. But damn, I'd need a bloody miracle to have that. Anyway, so love, peace, and hair grease. Bye.
Oh, this you crazy mother.